Okay, on number 10 on your review, it just says use the Pythagorean theorem to find each missing length. So you just got to remember what the Pythagorean theorem is. So remember the equation of the Pythagorean theorem is going to be a squared plus b squared all equals c squared. And remember, a is this side right here. So a is the lower side, b is going to be the side right there, and then c is going to be the side over here. So we want to go ahead and just substitute those numbers in. So we're going to go ahead and substitute in 8 for a, so I got 8 squared. Going to substitute in 5 for b, so I got 5 squared all equals c squared. Now let's go ahead and find out what 8 squared is equal to. So if you don't remember what 8 squared is equal to, remember you can just do it on your calculator. So I know that 8 squared is 8 times 8, which is 64. 5 squared is going to be 5 times 5, which is 25. All equals c squared. Now go ahead and take your calculator, and we're going to take 64 plus 25. So I got 64 plus 25. That comes out to be 89. So I got 89 all equals c squared. So I'll take the square root of both sides. That's the opposite of something being squared. And when I do that, I'm going to get my length of c. So c, take your calc, type in the second, put your square root key, put in 89, hit enter. That looks like that's going to come out to be 9.4. So that means that side C is equal to 9.4. And that's your answer. So this next problem, on number 11, it just says it wants us to find the perimeter. Well, remember, the perimeter is a measurement completely around the outside of an object. And so since I have this rectangle right here, I know the properties of rectangle. If this side is 8, I know that this side is also going to be 8. And if this side is 7.2, then this side over here is also going to be 7.2. So both sides are equal to each other. So now to actually find the perimeter, I just need to add all those numbers together around the outside of my object. So I'm just going to go ahead and take 8 plus 7.2 plus 8 plus 7.2. And that's going to equal my perimeter. So the measurement around the outside of an object is your perimeter. So just take your calculator, type that in. So I'm just going to go ahead and type in that in my calculator. So I got 8 plus 7.2 plus 8 plus 7.2. And go ahead and hit enter. And so that's going to be the measurement around the outside of your shape. So that comes out to be 30.4. So that would be the equal to your perimeter. So that's going to be your answer on number 11, 30.4 miles. Okay, on number 12, it says find the sum of the measures of a 12-sided polygon. So remember, whenever you're working with this problem right here and you're finding the sum of the measures of a 12-sided polygon, remember you can cut up your polygon into triangles. And the number of triangles that you can cut it up into is 2 less than the number of sides. So you take your number of sides, and when you subtract 2, that's going to be how many triangles that polygon can be made into. So notice I've got a 12-sided polygon. So you take 12 minus 2, and that's going to be the number of triangles that I have. So notice that this 12 minus 2 is going to be 10 triangles. I've got 10 triangles that can be made out of your 12-sided polygon. Well, we know that the sum of the angles of a triangle is equal to 180. So since I know that triangles, their sum is 180, all I have to do is take 180 times 10, and that's going to give me the total amount of the sum of the measures of the angles of a 12-sided polygon. So go ahead and take 180 times 10. So 180 times that by 10, and that comes out to be 1,800. That's going to be the sum of the measures of your 12-sided polygon. So now on number 13, the directions just say on 13, find the area. So remember, whenever you're looking at a square, we know that the area of a square, its formula is equal to side times side, or in other words, length times width. In other words, its area is going to be side squared. So I'm just going to go ahead and take my side, which happens to be 4.5, put it into my formula. So I got 4.5 times 4.5, or in other words, 4.5 squared. And we can go ahead and find out what the area of that rectangle is. So take your calculator, type in 4.5 times 4.5 or 4.5 squared, and that's going to come out to be, looks like 20.25. So we've got 20.25, and notice when I take inches times inches, I get inches squared. So anytime you see a unit being squared, that means it's referring to that unit's, or that object's area. So now number 14, the directions are the same. It still wants us to find area. So we just have to remember the area formula for a triangle. Area formula for a triangle is area all equals 1/2 base times height. Because you're going to notice that a triangle is actually just half a rectangle. Well, the rectangle formula is length times width. But in this case, it's half of it, and our length and our width are changed to base times height. So remember, here's your base, here's your height. So I got area is going to equal 1/2. My base is 11.5, and my height is going to be 3.7. So now go ahead and just put that into your calculator and find that answer. So we're going to type that into our calculator. Go and create your fraction by hitting alpha, F1. Get your fraction key, you got 1/2. And if you want, you can put that in your calculator as 0.5. And then we've got times our base, which is going to be times 11.5, and times our height, which is going to be 3.7. And that looks like that's going to come out to be on number 14, 21.275. So area is going to equal 21.275. And it looks like we're in centimeters squared. So that will be your answer to number 14, 21.275 centimeters squared. So now when I go on to this next one, number 15, now we're talking about volume. So it says find the volume of each figure, round to the nearest tenth. So remember, this right here is a cone. So to find or to use the volume formula for your cone, just remember you're going to find the area of this circle. And so that's the area of a circle form is pi r squared. And then you're going to notice that you're going to go ahead and multiply that times its height, and then also times the 1/3. Because when I multiply it times h, that would be a whole entire cylinder. And then when I go to a cone, that's just going to be 1/3. So my volume is equal to 1/3 pi r squared h. So just remember this r is your radius. And the radius is given to us. It's right here. Radius is your 5. So I got volume all equals 1/3 pi times 5 squared times your height. And this height is going to be 10. So let's put that into your calculator. And we'll find out what the volume of that cone is. So get your fraction at alpha F1. Get your fraction key. Go with 1/3, and then we're going to times this by pi, and your calculator's pi key in it, so just go ahead and put in your pi key, and we've got times 5 squared, and then we got times 10. Go and hit enter, and it looks like on that problem on number 15, it's going to come out to be, and we'll just round it up to the nearest tenth. So this comes out to be 261.8. And our units is yards. But when I take a yard times yard times yard, that's going to be yards cubed. So we've got 261.8 yards cubed for our volume on number 15. On number 16, again, we're finding the volume. And this time we've got a rectangular polyhedron. And so again, the formula for the volume of this shape is just going to be length times width times height. So here's our length right here. Our length is going to be 10. Our width is going to be 6. And then our height is going to be 7. So that's the volume of that rectangular polyhedron. Okay, now we're just going to go ahead and type this into our calculators. So I'm just going to take 10 times 6 times 7. And that answer looks like it's going to come out to be 420. I'm going to take miles times miles times miles. That's going to give me miles cubed. That will be the volume of that rectangular polyhedron. Cat number 17 says find the surface area. So remember, your surface area is just going to be your top side area. So it's going to be the top area plus the bottom area plus the left side area plus the right side area plus your front area plus the back area. So remember, surface area is just the area around the total outside of an object. So first off, I'm going to find the top area. So notice my top area is going to be 6 times 6. My bottom area is also 6 times 6. My left area is going to be 6 times 3. So that's this area right there. And then the next area says my right area. So if you look real closely, my right area is just right there. So that is also 6 times 3. And then my front area is just going to be this area out front. So this right here. So it's going to be 6 times 3. And my back area, well, that'd be this back here. And that looks like it's also going to be 6 times 3. I can just type in your calculator right now, or we can just find these because I know that 6 times 6 is 36 plus 36. 6 times 3 is 18 plus 18 plus 18 plus 18. So put that on your calculator, and we'll go ahead and find out what our area is. So we're just going to type this all into our calculator. Make this a little bit smaller so I can see all these numbers. And we'll type in 36 plus 36 plus 18 plus 18 plus 18 plus 18. Hit enter, and that looks like that area. Surface area is going to be 144. I'll just write it up here. So 144. And notice that is going to be feet squared. That's the surface area around the outside of that object. Okay, on this next problem right here, it says find the measure of each side indicated. It says round to the nearest tenth. So on number 18, it wants to test your knowledge of SOHCAHTOA. So remember, here's our acronym, SOHCAHTOA. And SO stands for the sine of your angle is equal to the opposite side all over the hypotenuse. CA stands for the cosine of your angle is equal to the adjacent side all over the hypotenuse. And TOA stands for the tangent of the angle, all equals the opposite side all over the adjacent side. So remember, I'm working from this angle right here. This right here, this side right here would be my adjacent. This right here would be my opposite. And this right here would be my hypotenuse. So I want to go ahead and find out what the value of this right here is at x. So to do this, I'm going to go ahead and use one of these acronyms, but I got to figure out which one to use. So notice I'm going to go ahead and, working from this angle right here, this is going to be adjacent all over the opposite, or we'll go the other way, sorry, we'll go opposite all over adjacent, because that matches up with the tangent, opposite over adjacent. So I'm going to set up my formula. I'm going to go and write down the tangent of 42.4 degrees. It's going to equal, here's my opposite side, which is 15, over my adjacent side right here, which is x. So now that I've done that, notice I can go ahead and solve this equation right here. So let me see if I can find some room. I'll go ahead and just erase this right above it so I can solve it. And so basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and solve this equation. So I'll solve this equation right here. So I'm looking at my equation. So I'm going to go ahead and multiply by x. So I'm going to get x times the tangent of 42.4 degrees, all equals 15. Now I'm going to go ahead and divide by the tangent of 42.4 on both sides. So this is going to be 15 divided by the tangent of 42.4 degrees. Just put it in my calculator. So in my calculator, first thing I want to do is just check to make sure that I am in the correct mode, because remember there's two modes to measure angles. And notice I'm in radian mode, so I'm just going to arrow down here, go over to degree and hit enter. So that's going to change it, so now my degree is darkened. So now that I've done that, I'm going to take my calculator and type in 15 divided by the tangent of 42.4, and then just go and hit enter. And so it looks like that side on number 18 is going to come out to be 16.4. So that side x is equal to 16.4. Okay, on this next problem, still just working with my right triangle trigonometry. So remember, I'm still going to use my acronym. I'm going to use SO, CA, TOA. So now working from this angle right here, so notice this angle is given to me. I notice that this is going to be opposite all over hypotenuse. So opposite over hypotenuse is your sine. So substituting that in, I've got the sine of 20 degrees. It's going to equal my opposite, which is going to be x, over my hypotenuse, which is going to be 12. So now to solve that, I'm going to multiply both sides by 12. So I got 12 times the sine of 20, all equals x. Now that I know that, I'm just going to put it in my calculator. So typing this in, I got 12 times the sine of 20 degrees. Go and hit enter. And it looks like that's going to come out to be 4.1. So that'll be your answer for side x is equal to 4.1. Okay, now on this last problem right here. Now notice this time though, it says find the measure of each angle indicated round the nearest tenth. So the angle that I'm looking for is this angle right here. So when I'm working from that other angle, notice now this becomes my opposite side. This over here becomes my adjacent side. And this right here is going to be the hypotenuse. So it kind of switches up depending upon which angle you're working from. But you're still going to use your acronym. So, CA, TOA. So I just got to see which one it matches. So if I'm working from this right here, you're going to notice I'm going to go to the opposite side, and then it goes to the adjacent side. So that's going to match up with my tangent. So I'm going to set this up. I'm going to take the tangent of theta, all equals my opposite side, which is going to be 7, over my adjacent side, which is 4. But notice I'm finding my angle. So remember, the key that finds angles is tangent inverse. So I'm going to go ahead and rewrite this as theta, all equals the tangent inverse of 7/4. Because I've got to use my tangent key to find my angle. So I'm going to use my tangent inverse key to find the angle. Because your inverse keys find angles. Go to your calculator here. And remember the tangent inverse key is right above the tangent, so you're going to have to use that second function. You hit second, and you hit tangent inverse. Then we're just going to type in 7 divided by 4. And then hit enter. And it says it comes out to be 60.25. And so the textbook, it just looks like it rounded up to 60.3 degrees. And so that would be the angle, the theta that it's asking for.